Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Teleislas News, the most important news of the day. A plenary session of political control was held to the state social enterprise of the department by members of the assembly who wanted to know the current status of this institution.
The Secretary of Health, as well as the manager in charge of the social state enterprise, Maria Bracho, presented to the Duma the financial status, achievement, and drawbacks that this model of health on the island currently presents, within which is the difficulty to supply medicines, as announced by the manager of the entity.
Siento que le fue bien a la E.S.E. ¿Por qué? Porque pudimos.
Well, I feel that the state social enterprise did well because we were able to tell the departmental Duma about the situation we are in right now. What we want to do to provide the community with a quality and timely health service. We're doing everything possible to obtain more consistent suppliers with greater financial and logistical support so that we can get the supplies and medicines on time.
Another of the most heated topics during the debate was the financial status of the social state enterprise, which generated several doubts among the deputies about how resources are being managed, as well as the new model for the hospital in the municipality of Old Providence.
Se cumplió con el objetivo de querer saber.
The objective of wanting to know exactly how the new change in health with the social state enterprise is going, and not only with respect to this transformation process, but also the COVID-19. We need to know of the new hospital for Old Providence. I think the debate has been interesting, but it has also left many issues on the table, which we need for the next visit of the Secretary of Health and the Director of the Social State Enterprise. We have more clarity, especially the financial part.
In view of the doubts generated by the financial status of the social state enterprise, the Duma took the decision to summon again the manager of this entity to clarify the expenses and investments that are advanced into this new health model on the island.
With the objective of contributing to the protection of the environment within the Seafloor Biosphere Reserve, the CORALINA Environmental Corporation issues Resolution 823 of June 22, 2021, based on Law 1973 of 2019 that prohibits the entry of plastics in the department. The director of the corporation stated the following for Teleislas News.
The resolution issued by the CORALINA Environmental Corporation prohibits the entry, commercialization, and use of plastics to be used for the disposal and transport of objects and goods in commercial establishments in the Department of San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina. Likewise, the use of plastic and polystyrene plates, straws, and cups is also prohibited.
From 2019, the Congress expeded a law with 1973 that prohibits the bringing of plastic of one use in San Andres. From that time, from 2019, the law established a deadline for the implementation. The deadline up is 19th of July. From 19th of July, everybody knows because we was working on environmental education, on sensibilization in the supermarket as well. Every Wednesday we used to have this sensibilization.
Commercial ships arriving in the department may not use plastic bags for the final disposal of garbage and must perform final waste disposal when arriving at port in the mainland.
Other way, we had problem with using of balloons. They used to have parties, they used to have social activities in the beach, in the lunch them, in the keys them, and that was giving a very high impact against the ecosystem, in the marine ecosystem, and the animals then that like the turtle that be affected with this type of element.
This measure includes all the beaches, keys, and strategic ecosystem.
And until June 30, 2021, the calls of admission to the Air Force officers and non-commissioned officers training school are open. On this occasion, those who are men and women, high school graduates, or with a professional technician or technologist degree who meet the requirements established for each course.
On until June 30 of 2021, the calls for admission to the Air Force Officers and Non-Commissioned Officers Training School are open. On this occasion, these summoned are men and women, high school graduates, and with a professional technician or technological degree who meet with the requirement established of each course.
Initially, we have registrations for regular officers course number 98. Regular course number 96 aimed at high school graduates and students of 11th grade. We also have an administrative corps course and staging course number 95 aimed at technologists and professional technicians who want to participate and enter to be part of the Colombian Air Force.
80% of the selection process is done virtually, which saves time and money for the applicants. The only exam that must be presented in person is the medical exam at the Aerospace Medicine Director in Bogotá. Likewise, each applicant can carry out the process directly without any paperwork, additional charges, or intermediaries. This is a great opportunity for young people who want not only to be promoted with a military degree that will project them to a stable career, but also to obtain a professional or technological degree that will allow them to work in any of the military specialties, such as flight, aeronautical logistics, security and defense of air bases, communication, electronics, or aeronautical maintenance, among others.
El rango de edad está entre unos 16. The age range is between 1 and 16 to 28 years of age. All registrations and requirements, costs, and charges can be found on our website officially www.incorporation.mil.co. Or for more information, call our cell phone number 317-363-7220.
And we continue with more local news. Starting today, women who want to register for the implementation of planning devices can do so in different sectors of the island. Alice Medina is at the local government with more details.
Hello, Lisa and LDTV viewers. I say hello from here from the departmental government because a few minutes ago we talked to the Social Development Secretary, Carlos Fontalvo, who told us about the inscription to the planification program to all women in our department. These days will be very important. Start today and will go until tomorrow. This is what the Secretary told us.
The Secretariat of Social Development, through the Office of Women and Gender, we are conducting and inviting all women to come massively and thus implant the contraceptive device. We will be in different sectors such as on the Hill, San Luis, and Natania. You only need to bring your ID card, and if you are a minor, come with a responsible adult. With this strategy, we want to reduce the rate of unintended pregnancies.
We want to remember all the women them will the place them where the inscription will take place. First will be in the Hill, in the Cultural House, also in San Luis, in the School of Philip Meekman, also in Natania, in the Communal Action House, and also in School House in the park. The hours then where one can access to the inscription will be from 9 in the morning to 12 in the midday, and also from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is all the information I report from here, from the Coral Palace. Continue listening studio with more information.
And now let's get to know other facts that are making news in our brief news sections of today.
Members of the CORALINA Environmental Corporation developed an awareness workshop about the closure of the Queen Kong in the different restaurants in the San Luis sector, with the aim of raising awareness and providing information to the community about the closure of this key species in the Seafloor Biosphere Reserve. The Secretariat of Finance, through the anti-smuggling team, continues to conduct awareness for the young people of the island of San Andres who belong to the different sports disciplines associated with the leagues. During the training, they are made aware of the step-by-step verification of alcoholic beverages before being consumed by their family members and adult friends. This work is done in order to avoid the consumption of adulterated or contraband beverages. On the occasion of the 32nd anniversary of the National Police, the uniformed officers held a ceremony at the entity's command facilities where they praised the work of the men and women of the police force in the island territory.
And in other news, as we had announced in overnight broadcast of yesterday, we know the complaint from a biologist from the island who ensured that the ecosystems are being polluted due to the underwater emissary. Before that statement, the Environmental Corporation of the Islands giving its response.
In response to the complaint filed by marine biologists from the islands, the environmental corporation CORALINA expressed its opinion regarding the statements.
CORALINA responds to the result of the systematic monitoring conducted in the submarine emissary. The corporation has monitoring with the report presented to analyze the results of said report and the monitoring carried out by obligation within the framework of the management plan from Veolia. The results of this monitoring are not as stated in the complaint. However, we are going to attend to it.
On the other hand, the coordinator of protected waters of CORALINA, Ana Bolaños, explained the technicalities that must be taken into account to respond to the citizens' complaint.
The submarine emissary in the submerged part is a pipe that goes 430 meters out to sea, where at the end it has 5 diffusers. In the complaint, one of those diffusers is shown. It is through where the sewage comes out and is dispersed.
The official also indicated that the areas where the outfalls are located around the islands are monitored twice a year.
The data indicate that in terms of water quality, we are within normal parameters. Monitoring is done in 2 climatic seasons, dry and rainy. So let's say that the alarms generated by the publication are not true.
CORALINA's general director ended by asking for proof from the complainants to justify their publications.
And if there is a denouncing entity or a biologist or a professional that denounces, let them go and do the monitoring, and with their results, they can contradict what we do systematically.